Hey, how you doing? Um, so there's some, I'm in business for myself and part of this digital marketing community, but I don't want to talk to you about that. Something else I've been thinking about. So one of the things so I'm in recovery, and there's a meeting I like going to. It's an 11-step meeting, and 11 step is about prayer and meditation, seeking conscious contact with a power greater than ourselves. We Most of us like to call it God, but you can call it whatever you like. It's just to really describe your higher power. And I say God because I don't know what else to call it except higher power. But but there's a book I uh, that we were reading out of when I went to this meeting. It's called Sought Through Prayer and Meditation, um, and it's can't think of the name. Walt Hazelden Publishing. So Hazelden is a well-known recovery center, and that doesn't make it any better than uh, a known recovery center. And it doesn't matter where you get recovery as long as you get the recovery, as long as you get the message. But in here, there's a bunch of weeks, and I just want to start on the first one. And I'm not even going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a paid paragraph because um, that's just what I want to do and talk about it a little bit. So the very first word in 11th step of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous suggests that I be a seeker on a journey to discover the awesome power of God that can reconstruct my life. I'm urged to begin my journey by asking Him to direct my thinking so that it be free from self-pity and from dishonest and self-seeking motives. I am to ask not only for the strength to pursue this journey, but also for His inspiration, for the desire to follow and be an instrument of His will. So first, I like to say that I don't believe God is a him. God is God. It's an entity. I think when they refer to him, it's all old school. When, in the Bible, it talks about him, masculine. And that's what the whole world used to be like. It used to be masculine world. And today it's more liberal, right? And who's to say God's a man or a woman or a being? It's just a spirit. So, on that note, it says, I be a seeker. So to seek God's guide for me. So, as an addict and alcoholic, because I was mostly using drugs, but as I've gone through the program, I realized that I was an alcoholic too. And I'm not getting all the ins and outs of it, but alcohol led to drugs, or drugs led to alcohol, and vice versa. And the drugs and alcohol are not a problem. I'm the problem, right? Because I'm sure you've seen drugs and maybe you don't use them, or maybe you don't drink that much. It's not for me to say, but if you put drugs and alcohol on the table in front of me, it's not going to do anything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the action, or I'm not going to take the action, right? But I'm a seeker of God's will. When I was getting loaded, and even before I was getting loaded, I was working on self-will, and hoping that I could solve the problem by myself, right? I didn't need anybody's help, basically, is what I'm saying. And I got into recovery and I realized that I need a lot of help, right? I mean, in the very beginning of recovery, I had to do therapy. It was part of the court mandation for me to do therapy. And I did it for several years, and it really helped. I did one-on-one therapy and I did group therapy. And it was all recovery based. So it really helped. And I was in a group home. We call it sober living, which is really a bunch of people living in a house trying to get sober together. And there was rules and structures. It was a high structured house and it was really good. It wasn't just go in there and get loaded all the time. And there's some of that too. But I was in a really good one. And dealing with 15 to 20 different personalities on a daily basis gets challenging. So I really needed therapy to help me deal with that because they don't teach you how to deal with that in recovery. They teach you how to keep your side of the street clean. Anyways, as I said, I'm a seeker of God's will for me. And I used to be a self-will, and self-will for an alcoholic is self-will run riot. So we'll go extra crazy, right? Cause a lot of harm and destruction, more than the normal person. And seek for God's inspiration. And every morning, so this is what I was taught, and this is partly how I believe. Maybe I was programmed to believe this. I'm not sure. And you can call it whatever you like, but it's working for me. So every morning I get up, I get on my knees, and I pray. Pray for God's will for me to do the right thing. And I can miss a day or two here and there, and depends on where I'm at. So over Labor Day weekend, I was camping. And so usually when I'm camping, I don't really get on my knees and ask for prayer, ask for guidance. I just say a little prayer and ask for guidance. And when I'm camping over Labor Day, it was with about 100 other people in recovery, more or less, maybe 85, 90 people in recovery, because the rest of the people were either CODA, like Codependence Anonymous, or Al-Anon, or none. Maybe they're just family members, right? Maybe Alateen. Anyway, so I was in God's will, right? And I must seek to have self-pity, or be free from self-pity and dishonest and self-seeking motives. So although recovery is a selfish program, it's because I want to be happy. In order for me to be happy, I need to help somebody else. It's a paradox, right? Recovery is a big paradox. When you surrender, you win. When you help somebody else, you feel better. Now, I don't know if that's true for you or not, but it is for me. Say, when I help somebody else, I feel better. So once a week, I go to Salvation Army. It's a recovery center for men, and I mentor guys or sponsor guys there and take them through the Big Book. And the Big Book is our guide for living. It really describes the problem and our deficiencies and how we can get better. Anyways, this book, Sought Through Prayer and Meditation, is really cool. It's got a lot of little segments in there. And in the meeting, we talk about, everybody reads a paragraph and then we talk about it, or, paragraph or two, and we talk about it, right? So I must be free of self-seeking motives. Although I want to be happy, I need to help other people. So it's selfish, unselfishly. Right? I'm being selfish because I want to be happy, but in order for me to be happy, I need to help somebody else. So that's the unselfish part of it, selfless part of it. And I got to stop thinking about woe is me, right? If you lose a job, you get up and get another one, right? Instead of just relying on sitting on your butt and waiting for another job to come. I'm not. There's other ways to make money than a job, but I'm just saying, is like, if you're out of work, you got to find some way to make money. So if you get fired from a job, you go look for another job, or you look for another way to make money online. No, I'm not getting all that. I just I am to ask not only for the strength to pursue his journey, but also for his inspiration. Again, it's what I'm supposed to do to help somebody else. Now, I don't always know the answer. I just know when I'm doing something right and it's beneficial, I feel good. And that's the inspiration. Right? It helps me go forward. It helps me move on. And so so in the beginning of recovery, they say that you can do any step with a 1 in it out of order. Step 1, step 10, 11, and 12. So 1 is admitting that I have a problem and that I can't do it on my own. Right? My life is totally screwed up, or I screwed up my whole life, and my drinking and using is out of control. Right? And maybe you're in NA, or maybe you're not in recovery. I don't know. But there's all kinds of different programs, right? Not just AA. But AA was the first one. And step 10 is continue to take personal inventory. And when I'm wrong, promptly admit it. So to see if I hurt somebody, or if I did something wrong, to clean it up as soon as possible. And 11 is sought through prayer and meditation. So when I seek through prayer and meditation, I'm asking. Prayer is asking, meditation is listening. I'm asking God to direct my thinking, direct my actions, so I can be on the right path. And 12 is helping somebody else. So, most people help other people. A lot of times before recovery, I'm helping people for self-seeking motives, right? What's in it for me? Well, in recovery, I learned that it's not about what's in it for me. It's how I can help somebody else. And if you're in business for yourself, you're not looking out just for yourself. You're looking out who you can help and how you can help them, right? In whatever business you're in. I used to cook, and I loved cooking. It didn't pay the bills very well, but I loved cooking. And cooking is, how do I make the food well enough or tasty enough so somebody can enjoy it instead of just doing my job, right? Now, if you're on a line somewhere, like a factory line, you're just doing your job one after another. It can get monotonous. I get it. But it's like, how do I help somebody else? And if I look at it as this is a boring job, I could do a couple things about it. It's like, okay, I'm noticing that I'm not liking this. Now, what else can I do to where I can enjoy what I'm doing and still be of service, still help somebody else, right? Even if it's a job, right? I'm still being of service. And that's the thing learning in recovery is I might have been working for a company or some person, but technically I was working for a higher power, right? My higher power is guiding me in everything that I'm doing. And the company or the person is giving me the paycheck, right? But it's all divine, because people don't just show up by accident. You're talking to people in a way that express interest, right? So, or they're looking for something and you have something to offer them, a solution, right? So it's all divine. I think there's no accidents in this world. And that's just what I wanted to talk about is that I'm hoping to do this more regularly, but it's just one day at a time. So if I don't do this, nudge me if you like this content, follow me. I'm going to create other content too, not just this, but a mixture. And this is something that's my number one passion, because I have to do this, or I go insane, and then I'm going to end up in jail and you never see or hear from me again. And I don't want that. I don't want that for anybody. I'd really love for everybody who's incarcerated to be out, to be free, not just free to roam, but free mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's what I want them to be free of, is the mental pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain that they're going through. Be able to deal with it and be a part of society. I know not everybody can be, but that's what I wish for everybody who's incarcerated. So if you like this content, follow me. If not, then that's okay. And, like I said, I'm going to be creating other content. So if you like the other content, you can follow me that way, or just follow me when I do this content. So thanks very much. You have a wonderful day.